going to have to start walking. Yes. It's a very much a celebratory time. If you look at the banner, you will see. And if you see the name on the bottom, you will know that it's Sister Ambience, that young lady, warrior, queen, beautiful sister that you just can't get enough of. And tonight we surprised you. We Pearl Harbored you. You didn't expect it, but when you least expect it, because we're going to do it all the time. We don't pretend to be this. We live this. And when you live this, it just comes out effortlessly. You see, so Sister Ambience, I'm so glad I got the communication from you, and I was so overjoyed, and I said, yes, we're going to do it. We're going to do it till we're satisfied, whatever it is, and we're going to talk. Yes, we are. Telling my age of myself. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great, brother. Thank you. Again, I just love your platform. I love that you're
our
here
platform,
for us.
Our platform.
Hey, I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love the fact that people can just tap into you and just express themselves, on any level, just because sometimes when you hold those things in, those things can be, when they're internalized, they can turn against you. Yeah. And so we have to be able to express ourselves on some level. It's actually a real thing. It's more to life than just getting up and dealing with the constructs and all that type of stuff. There's spiritual aspects to our being that we have to cater to. And if not, then it's a detriment to us, Yes. And so we work for 50 and 60 and 70 years pretty much. And then, when you retire and it's just like, you're slumped over, you're no good to yourself.
Right. See,
because
that ain't going to happen here. Yeah, that ain't going to happen here.
No,
I'm saving the best part for last. That's right.
No.
That's right. Yeah. So,
no, brother, but thank you. Mm-hmm. I really do. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
I really do.
That makes me feel good. Like I said, it's a joy for me, number one, to have my faculties. And that's a damn shame for me to have to say that at 59 years old, that I'm grateful to have my faculties, because we should. But what I learned in this place called America, spelled with 3 Ks, that's what they do. They suck your life force. They take it away from you, and you're no good for yourself. How many times have we heard the story of the man that worked the job and got retired, and within a week or even the next day, he keeled over and died? It ain't going to happen with me. I got too much fire, but they're not going to throw no water on me. Just a quick story. When I was driving the bus, we had all these crazy hours and different stuff, guys trying to work overtime. There was a guy who was about maybe 10 years younger than me, but he looked 15 years older than me. But I didn't know that. And he was so hung up on working overtime that he lived pretty far away, and he didn't want to drive all the way home. So he would sleep in his car at the base. I couldn't believe it. They had showers there. They have lockers there. They have rooms where you can go and lay back. But he'd park his car all the way over at the end. So if he was finished work 2 a.m. and he had to do something 7 a.m, he was right there. He did this for a couple of months. Well, he finished one night and he parked his car way over, and he was laying back in the car. And then all of a sudden, people realized like the car was in the same space for 3 days. And they'd see him. They say, "Oh, he's just taking a nap." He was in there for 3 days dead.
Wow.
Ain't that something?
Wow.
These are the things that I see.
What a waste.
Yeah. And I'm like, listen, I wasn't put here to just be somebody's wage slave. You got to do what you got to do until you can do what you do. But you have to have a plan of what you're going to do, because they're not going to give you a full life. With the rundown manifestation, life force, the dead manifestation of life force called money. We need each other. We need to vibrate off each other. We bring the power. The money don't bring the power. We got to get out of that world, that engineered world, into the world of the natural.
We are the currency.
Exactly. And I love your power. You come here, you got the currency, you got the current. When I talk to you, it's like sticking my finger in the electrical socket, but it don't hurt. It charges me up.
Right.
I'm gonna shut up. I want to hear what you got. You lead look, we're dance partners tonight, and you lead the steps, and I'll follow through and support.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, thank you, brother. Well, thank you all. And welcome. I'm at home, comfortable in my own skin.
Yes.
at this present moment. And I appreciate you again, Brother Lance. I'm glad that typically, I'll be asleep. I'm on old woman time. I've been like that since I was a young girl. So I go to sleep early and I rise early.
That's right.
That's always been who I am.
But you don't have to push it tonight. We're gonna get down, but I don't want you to take too much out of yourself.
This is a special. Yeah, well, this is a special occasion. This is a special occasion. This is what. Yeah, I had to put my big girl shorts on for this special occasion right here because it's all well worth it. It's all well worth it. We never know what we're dealing with in this experience that we're having.
That's right.
And so what I notice is, the more you speak, the more this algorithm. When we think about technology and the technology that's been used for evil doing, it's still predicated upon a natural algorithm that already exists in our universe. Yes. There's a natural algorithm that already exists, so it's mimicking that algorithm, And so my thing is just to vibrate so high that they can't, any evil doing that wants to come our way, I want to be able to vibrate so high that they can't even catch up. And so because there's certain things that are meant to be and they can postpone it, they can't stop it from being, and the time is now, so whether they're playing a game or not, it don't matter. We're gonna take advantage of this whole situation. Whatever is going on right now, we're gonna reap the benefits of it regardless of what, and so there's been enough games played, and it's been, brother, again, what I appreciate about you is that, and many of the viewers, because I've read many of the comments and, I've responded. I really took some time out today to make sure I do that because I know what it feels like to feel like you're being ignored and being dismissed. And I had to check myself to make sure, I realized that, what I don't want done to me, I'm not doing to other people, And so I just took the time to there was a particular sister that I do want to address, who said that she didn't really, I guess my message doesn't resonate with her, and so she feels as though, the targeting thing, she's not getting how that's relative to her life, and I just want to let her know that, we all are being targeted in different areas, in different places. They design a protocol for us specifically in order for it to, destroy us, in ways that are specifically designed for us. And so I don't want her to feel as though because I know that I can have my mind can be very whimsical, And so I've ran into the issue, of having a channel before, and I've ran into sisters who just really didn't understand or didn't even believe that I was targeted just based on my experience. And we have to understand that all of our experiences are different. And so I'm the type of person that I've been in the presence of a lot of famous people. Due to being a massage therapist, and even before that. Even growing up, I would find myself hanging out with cousins and going to concerts and ending up with the various artists.
Yes.
That evening kicking it. You know what I'm saying? And my family has always been like that too. So it's just something in our bloodline and our you know what I'm saying? So we have to take all those things into account. You have to look at the cycle of things within your own family. You cannot look at what's going on with another person and think it's supposed to line up with your situation. You got to have some discernment.
Right.
You got to have some discernment. And so I'm speaking to this sister specifically because I don't want her to feel like she's alone in this situation.
Yes.
Because what I'm experiencing is a real thing, and I know what it's like to be alone in a room full of people, whether they're your family or not. To give birth to children who turn on you, to children who aren't there for you, children who my 9 months of pregnancy ain't no damn joke. I went through some shit with all 3 of my children. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the last one, I was crawling on the floor. I had to take physical therapy because my pelvic was just all out of whack. And so just that pain of being neglected, or feeling as though you're being neglected by something that you brought forth. You know what I'm saying? So trust and believe me, sister. I pray that you're not an agent, that you're just not pushing, just pushing to destroy or come up against us, and I'm hoping that you're a sister who authentically just can't relate. But I just want you to know that even if our situations aren't similar, that's not how this program works. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a program. It's all about designing a protocol specifically for you, because whatever your flaws are, they're going to look at your flaws, and what they're going to do is they're going to elaborate on your flaws to make it seem like you're just being you. Exactly. So it doesn't look like anything is coming up against you. So you have to understand that you have to look at not just you, but you have to look at your lineage, where you come from. You'll see a pattern within that as well, because they're going to take advantage of that as well. So you have, like, for me, one of my saving grace is the fact that I don't come from a family who had mental illness. Like, we might been diagnosed with bipolarism or depression or something like that, but we've never been diagnosed with schizophrenia, or I might have had a one or two who was trying to play the system or some shit like that. But that's not something that's a hardcore issue in my family. So They can't use that against me. Before someone else, they can say, well, your mother suffered from schizophrenia. You understand what I'm saying? So they can easily put that on you. That's how the program works. So I just want you to understand that and know that you're not alone, and we're not all experiencing the same thing. And there's another sister. I'm assuming is a sister. This could be a brother. It could be a brother, but yeah. There's someone else that I wanted to address who had made a comment about, the queen, quote unquote, the queen's death, how it hasn't changed anything about them being targeted. No, it's not going to change anything about us being targeted, because the program still goes on regardless of what, and so we have to find some means of being clever enough to outwit the system. I don't know if you're familiar with that book by Napoleon Hill. What is it called? Outwitting the Devil.
I heard.
Are you familiar with that book?
I never read it, but the title always intrigued me. But I never got a chance to Outwitting the Devil. That's a hell of a title.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what we're experiencing. We are literally, for me, because of my mindset, you know what I'm saying? And again, I have to always put this on my bloodline, because this is how the people operate in my family. You know what I'm saying? And so I've witnessed so much, and you're going to take in things, whether you want to take in things or not. But I understand that how being clever and crafty can actually aid you in this situation when you set your emotions aside and you come out of the fact that it's being done to you first and foremost. Because a lot of us, once we realize it's being done to us, we dive deep into that whole victimhood. And so you kind of have to come out of that mindset and go into a 007.
Right.
And so you have to be able to face this thing head on and play with it and toy with it, just like you play and toy with you. Then you'll start to see all type of responses. You'll start to see the emotional side of it. Yes. So that thing that made you emotional, you'll start to see the emotional side of it once you start to realize that you're at a war. And so then you got to play the game that they play.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to touch on those, those two things, because that is it's imperative to me as far as what I bring to this experience has everything to do with, I'm a Leo Virgo, okay? Mm-hmm. And so I'm not a typical Leo in the sense, you have a lot of Leos who, pretty much, they want to be the center of attention, so on and so forth. Okay, that's their alignment. But I'm that Leo that I get in the trenches with the people, and it's all about me being an example. So to help people be okay with them being who they are. And so I'm hoping that you being who you are is authentically a good person.
Yes.
Because too many times in this day and age, when you open up that door for people to, I'm not saying this to sound like I got a big head or anything, but it's just something that I realized about myself is that I make people okay with being themselves. Right. And in this world that we live in, sometimes being yourself is not always a good thing.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that I can touch enough people who are okay with being themselves, and it is a good thing.
Well, see, you know what? This world, it teaches you that it's not okay to be with yourself or be yourself. And that's where the problems begin, because that's the measure of control. Because if you're not okay being yourself, then you're going to try to be somebody else. Like we've mentioned before in other shows, and, always telling my age, in the 70s, and, we had followers back then, but it was all about being unique. When you show up to the party, you didn't want to show up the same way. If you saw the next brother getting a part in the right side of his hair when he was at the barber, you wanted to get it on the left side. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like you didn't want to love the brother or love the sisters. You just wanted to have something unique about yourself. And these days, the younger generations and some of the older generations, surprisingly, it's like nobody wants to really be themselves. Like, I want to be the best me that I can be. And there's nothing big-headed about that, because the Creator made you unique. And you're supposed to express that uniqueness, and it makes the world a better place because everybody can see how unique you are. And I want to see how unique you are. And we love ourselves for our uniqueness. And even you being unique would stimulate me to be unique in my way, not to be going against you and nothing like that. And we appreciate. Imagine all the restaurants in the world were only pizza shops. That would be quite boring. So we have different cultures, different races, different this, different that. It's just that some of us on this planet misbehave, and some of us on this planet don't belong here. Now, we know that. But let's embrace that and give the props. There's no competition. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to shut up after this. I'm telling you right now, there's a brother coming to Ghana. I ain't going to say so much. His wife is here. She's Ghanaian. He was born in America. But they got kids together and everything. He's a couple years older than me. This brother here is fire. And we talked today for about an hour. And he's working. He's going to finish up working and come on out here. And we're going to do some things in Ghana together. And I want to get Irritated Genie hooked up with this even when he comes out here. This is going to be some phenomenal, eye-opening work that this guy does. He's not into the ego, but all his life he studied. And the facts that regular conversation had me like, yo, and he has all this respect for me. I'm like, yo, the best I can qualify next to you, brothers, will be your bucket boy if you're in a fight going down in the ring. That's a little joke. But I give props. I said, man, you ain't got to worry about nothing. Just come here. We'll have the studio ready by then. And just we're going to walk the streets. I'm going to have the camera on. I'm going to make it. It's not going to be somebody sitting in front of a wall all boring. I got some stuff coming. We're going to be in the street. We're going to be talking to people. We're going to organize things. I'll do the heavy lifting, the background work. If you hear this brother, you will not get enough of him. And I've been checking him out for a while. I don't sense no ego, no nothing. He wants to put in the work. And by the middle of next year when he comes, or from springtime to summer, around that time, his wife is here, and there's some business me and her have to take care of, doing some different things. Look, they're real, okay? And we're gonna play this back again. I'm gonna play this back again when he gets on the show, and you all gonna agree with me, okay? And you're gonna talk to him. We all gonna talk to him. He's gonna be right here with me, and distance is no problem. Because when you have that power and you have that determination to get something done, but this brother's going to put a dent in the ignorance that's over here and that's over there and all over the world. This is me saying it. I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm. I look forward to that. No doubt about it.
Man.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, it's it's kind of just like rewinding the hands of time in the sense of you and I, we know where we come from, and we know that there was a time where the ego was not the first thing on people's minds. You had people that existed like that, but that was kind of like a rare thing versus it being a common thing now. And so that's the thing about when a person is afraid. It's a difference between a person being afraid to show who they are, and then a person who don't even know who they are. You know what I'm saying? It's
rough.
like one thing segues into the other. So it's just like, it's a long time coming, right? So at first it was a fear of even expressing the difference. And then that got lost in translation to the point where I don't even know who the fuck I am anymore. Like, people don't know. People really don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not even a matter of being yourself when you don't even know who self is. You know, because you're gonna have to take it there first, you know. And so a lot of times when you're experiencing things and you start to have questions about what you're experiencing, you have to start to question yourself and understand your triggers. Understand that when you get that trigger in you, that's the perfect time for you to start questioning why you're feeling that way. Mm-hmm. How is it making you feel? How is it making your body feel? You understand what I'm saying? Like, what part of you is feeling out of control? Because believe it or not, there's certain parts of our body that represent certain emotions. You know what I'm saying? And so what people don't understand, like, even with the lungs, you know, the lungs are related to grief. And so when a lot of people have issues with their lungs, it's because they're grieving about something, you know, like the liver is related to anger.
That's right.
You know, and so these are things that if you start to heal mentally, then you'll start to realize how your physical starts to heal. You know, I remember years ago, before I came into this consciousness of self, right, being self-aware, because you can do something out of habit and not be aware of it.
Exactly.
Right? And so I remember when I used to get stressed out, I used to have this tension in the back of my right leg, my right thigh. You know, and I'm just like, I'm sure it had been going on for a long time before I actually really tapped into it and recognized, you know, that this was going on with me. You know, and so I would have to talk to myself whenever. You know, first I recognized that it would happen during certain times. And I'm like, damn, why am I feeling like that? Like, why is my leg just tightening up like that? You know? And so, and then it would lead to like shit like sciatica, you know? And I guess
which is painful.
You know, I'm you know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
1984.
Well, brother, you know,
since then. Yeah.
A lot of times what people don't understand about the body is wherever you're feeling the pain, it typically is coming from the opposite side of the body.
Wow.
You know, unless there's some type of physical thing taking place, you know, some type of like deterioration or something like that taking place. Like, for instance, because we're always forward, we're always bending forward, but most people feel pain in their back, right? But a lot of that can be relieved by actually stretching out the front of your body. So one thing that may help is you just taking your leg and pulling it back and stretching out that area that's always bent.
Pulling against,
that area that you always bend when you're sitting and all that type of stuff. That area there, by opening that can actually help with your sciatica. That can help with your lower back pain.
Oh yeah, and you know, for me,
you know, so but it's just like I say, getting to know yourself, you know, and because I went to school for this, I was able to tap into, actually, you know, we all got assigned different like muscles and muscle compartments and things like that at one point in my education. And I actually got, I had to focus on the sciatic nerve, which had a lot to do with what was called the piriformis muscle, which is basically in the buttocks. Okay. And so we have a knot that this particular nerve that goes through.
Right.
That's how I was able, by learning that, I was able to tap into my own issue. And as a result, I'm a great massage therapist. You know what I'm saying? I can go months without doing massage, but I'm so in tune with my own healing that it's nothing for me to touch a body and help people heal in ways, because
Understood. Yeah.
You know, it's not a physical thing. It's not just alone a physical thing. I realize that it's a nourishment thing.
Yes.
That a lot of times when we have pain in our bodies, it's the lack of love in that area, the lack of, there's a particular Caucasian woman, and she's written several books, and I've read several books of hers, and her name is Louise Hay. And she talks about how various parts of your body, when you have issues in those areas, is actually connected to an emotional thing. Like, for instance, when you have knee pain, is actually connected to your inability to move forward.
Wow.
So you can be in a situation where you're having a problem leaving a situation, and then all of a sudden your knees start bothering you.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all is relative, but we have lost that knowledge along the way because of all the yama yama, as my Liberian mother says.
Yeah, that answered a decades old question that I had for me when I had my right knee messed up. Now, my stuff was 1982. I went in maybe about 15 to 20 something, low 20s competitions, bodybuilding, right? I kept myself lean all year, which is the wrong thing to do. And I was 19 and I was going to be 20 the next year. And I was determined to try to win at least one title before I turned 20, which I did. And I wore myself down so much with the strict diet in which I got the discipline of anybody. No, not too many people can beat me when I'm focused that way, but I overdid it. And I was drained. And so my knee was giving me problems on my right side. It was, when I would squat down, it would really hurt. So in the beginning of 1983, was it? No, 84. I was starting to put on weight. I was already 20 years old. So I said, okay, I take a couple of years off. I won't get into competitions. So I was pushing with one leg, doing leg work more than the other. So if I'm not pushing equally, my spine is going to curve a little bit. So now I had all this weight on my back. It was like about 405 pounds or something. I'm up and down with it and just crack. And I could only put one foot in front of the other, maybe like 3 or 4 inches. But I ran into this sports chiropractor. He cracked me up. He was an old school guy who took care of the Yankees, the Mets, certain athletes, the old school guy. And they recommended me to him. Right after he cracked me up the right way, I went right to the gym. But he said, if it happens again, that's the weak link in your back. It's going to happen right there. And a couple years later, I do something like a twist, boom, it comes back. So I know that pain. That thing.
Memory, muscle memory, yeah. Yeah, that muscle memory, and the mental is the same way. That's what the triggers. That's where the triggers come in at, right?
Yeah.
And so healing. You have to. Healing requires for you to be self-conscious, and I don't think a lot of people really understand what that means. That means being aware of what your body is going through, because it's not. So right now, you have to start off on an elementary level, and so mentally, a lot of people they don't have that power of discernment to tap into that mental aspect, but they can start physically. Because we can all relate to that. We all know that if we bump our knee, the first thing we're going to do is get the rubbing on it. You know what I'm saying? So like massage is a natural thing, and so, but when you start experiencing pain from emotional things, not from getting bumped and not from all that type of stuff, when you experience pain in your body or pain in your stomach, pain in your back and all that type of stuff from emotional shit, from just having a conversation with a person, like I've done massage on people. And then they get to talking about what's going on in their life and their whole body lock up. Just like you got to be like, relax. And so you have to become aware of your physical aspect first in order to start to tap into your mental aspect. And so this is, when we're targeted, these are the things that actually helps us elevate and puts us on a different plane than what we're seeing. It's kind of like it opens up your faith. It builds your faith. And faith is all about belief in knowing something that you can't see. Like that it's going to be all right, but you can't see it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the evidence does not show that you're going to be able to make it through. But the faith lets you know that regardless of what's going on, you're going to make it, And so you have to begin to tap into your physical aspect and understand why you're having these triggers in your body, like first and foremost. So like when you see the police, everywhere you go, they're showing up. Start to ask yourself the question, why is your body locking up? Why am I feeling this way? And why am I? Because these are the things that they tap into to actually get some type of data on your vitals. Right.
Wow.
And so then this is how you start to change your aura. So it's harder for them to tap into you, is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So once you start to shift that energy, from within you, then the vitals aren't the same. Once you start to heal in those areas, that energy in that particular area, that tension that you had in the back, like I had in the back of my right leg and my hamstring, once that tension subsides, that energy is no longer available for them to tap into it. Wow. Is what I'm saying.
Let me just say, I don't know if you can hear this whining noise behind me, but my laptop, because of the dust storm from the Sahara, I cleaned it out and everything, but it's not heavy dust in it, but it's gotten in the mechanism of it. And sometimes after using a little bit, it makes this crazy noise. So just continue talking. I'm going to take it and put it in another room so that as we talk, I don't have to have this thing messing up our exchange. But I don't know if you can hear it. Like, can you hear it?
I hear something kind of like, I don't know, race car track every now and then.
Yeah. That's what it is. It drives me crazy because I like to have complete, clarity. It's not stopping anybody from hearing, but over here, it's like a big bumblebee, and I keep thinking it's going to mess everything up. So I'm just going to take 3 minutes and, because I have some stuff downloading on it, so I can't cut it off. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to do that. I'll be back in 3 minutes.
Okay. And so then, because I know that there's a lot of people who have an understanding, and our understandings vary. Okay, our understandings and our overstandings vary, and so there are certain people who feel as though the only way of doing things is this way, but all is mental. And so then you can actually gain a lot of control over things mentally. It's like, even if and a lot of people are not going to agree with me, but this is this is what I know. And so even when you're not eating properly, if you can tap into yourself, if you're tapping into yourself enough to be able to tap into those areas where you can feel something that's off, something that's, causing you some type of stress, some type of pain. Like, if you can tap into those areas and you can give a direct concentration into those areas, these are the things that will actually help you, overcome disease. It'll help you come disease, all that type of stuff. Like we literally have the ability to mentally heal ourselves, regardless of what our environment, because in this world, there's no way possible that you can avoid all the taintedness that's taking place. Like the water is tainted, everything is tainted, so there's always something lurking, ready to take you out, and so you just have to be able to tap into, you have to be in tune with yourself in order to tap into what is going on, because instead of being blindsided, most people are so disconnected from themselves that they can't get a hold of what's going on. I've been in excruciating pain in my life, and I understand the fascia of the body, the trains of the body, to where I can stretch in a way and just stretch it out. Because we don't want to have to rely on their system like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main thing, is that we don't want to find ourselves, at their hands, because you're dealing with a system that doesn't have your best interest at heart. And so mentally, by being able to tap into those things, and You know it. You know that you've tapped into those things when you're around others, and instead of you concentrating on what's going on around you, you're finding yourself more and more tapping into what the hell is how it's making you feel on the inside. You know what I'm saying? And you have to have enough love for yourself and have to have enough strength in your self-preservation to know that you need to focus on that right now. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm always seen as, people might see me as cold, they might see me as weird, they whatever, because when I'm in the midst of, all these stressful environments when dealing with people, because it's all about other people stressing you out. That's what this situation is all about. It's all about other people stressing you out. And so, but when that's taking place, when you start to focus, when you self-focus and you start to go within and listen to your body and say, why the fuck am I feeling like this? Like, why is this part of my body just jumping like this? Like, why is it, you know what I'm saying? And then one of the first things you can do, just a generic thing you can do, is just start breathing, taking deep breaths. That's the first thing you can start to do. Take some full, deep breaths, because it'll help you think clearer, And so I'm just trying to help people have some type of tools to use in all this madness, because the madness is not just going to stop like that. These people are fighting for a position, and they're backed into a corner at this point. They're using all these tactics to make it appear that they have an ability that they don't have. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's all about just mind fucking you. You know how bullies are. Bullies try to act like they this and that, but they do that to the wrong person, they get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? To the wrong person that's not gonna go for that bullshit.
Yeah,
but a lot of people.
Right.
Hello. Brother, you know how it is. You know how people try to play the mind games like they more than they are.
Yep.
And then they run across the wrong person, the motherfucker get knocked out.
I've seen it a whole lot of times with my own eyes. I've seen it a whole lot.
So, yeah, because the bottom line is this situation that we're in right now, dealing with these powers that shouldn't be. They were really who they claim they are, and they really like all the shit that they present to target individuals, right? And it's the reason why they target us, because we're the main people that we stand on our square so much that they feel like if they could get us in line, then shit, everybody else would be easy to get in line. You know what I'm saying? And so, but we stand on our square so much that they have to present themselves just like with the Wizard of Oz, that motherfucker that's behind the curtain.
Right.
That's literally what's going on. Like, when you pull that curtain back, is fucking this midget behind the motherfucking curtain. That's what's really going on. They're playing all these roles as though they're so this and they're this and they're that, and they really ain't about shit.
That's right.
And so we have to get to the point where, all the things that we've experienced growing up, because that's what it's all a mind game. All is mental. You have to understand that's a universal law. All is mental. All these games from day one, telling you that you ain't about shit. That's where it started at. You ain't about shit. Don't nobody love you. Ain't nobody gonna be there for you. These motherfuckers have put in a lot of work to try to make you feel like you ain't shit.
Overtime.
These motherfuckers have put in a lot of work to make you feel like you ain't shit. And that should let you know that it's something off here. Something is off here. You know what I'm saying? That's like your child coming to you and telling you how somebody is, doing this and doing that to you every day. You have to tell your child, well, damn. You got to think about, why is this person putting so much energy into you if you're no one? You know what I'm saying? And so just being able to get past the trauma of everything that occurred from the moment you got here, because a lot of us targeted individuals, we can go back to some deep shit from when we was conceived. Me personally, you know what I'm saying? Like, my situation from when I was conceived was already fucked up.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? People was already whispering about me. Damn. And so with that, right, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, it was like, okay, for me, thankfully, I got a bad memory. I'm not even gonna lie. Mm-hmm. I got a bad memory. And that's been a saving grace for me. That's what I was gonna say. Because if I was the type of person, because if I was the type of person that remembered everything, I'd be fucked up right now.
I remember years ago, I don't go off very often, like go off. And I don't mean go off like I'm a wacko, but there was somebody, a group of people that I didn't get along with too. I stayed away from them. They kept harassing me. I didn't do anything to them. It didn't get physical. But when I went off, it's like I gave it to them. And I went all the way back to a third grade teacher that didn't like me. I cussed out everybody it all came flooding back. Yeah, and that Miss Truchell and that Miss Finkelstein. Yeah, and they were like, yo, this nigga's bugging out. He's having a meltdown. We better get out of here. I was, yeah. And everybody was going when I was done. And they were going for 30 minutes and I was still going because I don't like getting like that. I like to take my intensity out, spread out over time. Don't mess with me. I'd rather the peaceful way. And then they put their hand on me. That's a different story.
We can't always control the situation.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We might not like it, but that has a lot to do with our faith. You know what I'm saying? Because you have in faith, when people pray, and then people want to control how they feel like that, how they supposed to reach that prayer. Mm-hmm. But that's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it got to get ugly before it get pretty.
There you go.
You know, and sometimes it look like all hope is gone. But somehow, the sun comes out bright and we make it through.
And that beautiful meal that's in your plate arranged so nicely didn't always look pretty when it was being prepared. So when you're in an ugly situation, you're being prepared to be that pristine thing sitting on the plate. I'm not comparing you to food. Yes. I'm just saying that we got to go through that to get to that point.
It's a test.
Exactly.
It's a test. And we are in the test, whether we want to believe it or not, whether we want to accept it or not. Because, for me, I say, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I feel like there's always this thing that's always trying to put me in some type of leadership role. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just be like, I don't want that. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with being a leader to a certain degree. Yeah, but not to no point where you find myself being used and misleading people, because I'm always concerned about what my actions and what I have to say, what it can lead, how it can lead people in the wrong direction.
Right. You're considerate.
And I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? I'm always questioning, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? That's why I don't mess with organizations and affiliations and all that type of stuff, because I know what's going on around me. There's a heavy need to control. I'm not trying to control anyone. I'm not trying to be controlled either. You know what I'm saying? And so the Most High says we have free will. I'm not trying to impede upon anyone's free will. But I authentically feel like the average person, and I'm talking about our people. I feel like the average person is authentically a good person. But we have been pulled and stretched and worn thin. And you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the only thing that can happen. This is where we're at right now. This is the only outcome. I mean, we have been through the gamut. And I'm not saying white folks ain't been through it, but see, that's their shit. That's their culture. But they have drug us into their shit.
Hallelujah. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So now we got to deal with the fact that we are authentically who we are, innately who we are, and we've been drugged into some shit that's so foreign to us. Hell yeah, we all fucked up. We fucked up for a good ass reason. You know what I'm saying? Because we have been taken out of our humanity and taken into an animalistic way of being. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much a hybrid.
Listen, it's a wonder why we're not even more jacked up.
What?
You know what I mean?
What?
Like how can we even be as powerful as we are, even in a downtrodden state? If this was somebody else or those other people,
good, brother.
They would have killed
it. That good.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And they hate that. No matter what you throw, it may knock me down for a second, but I'm gonna keep getting back up and hold together so much. Look at the sisters who, regardless of the circumstances, they hold down their children. They get up early in the morning. They prepare something to eat. They get them ready for school. Right. They may not have a car and take public transportation and miss the bus and still get the kids to school and to the daycare, turn around, sometimes come back home or go straight into work and work all day, come back and go pick them kids up and make sure, or go pick them up when they were at the friend's house, come home, get them ready, get their dinner ready, get their clothes ready. Oh my God. I mean, and there are brothers out there that do the same thing and brothers that do other things, but look at all the different things. I just use one example, but look at all the things we have to endure. And by the time we get to their jobs, we should be exhausted, but we outdo them and they come to us for the answers. And we train them and make them supervisors, and we still getting the crappy pay, and we still doing, and there's never no end, and we're doing. And some of these ladies and men you see with the gray hair in their head, and they're 60s and 70-year-old, and they're still strong, and they can tell you about life. Tell me that's not something from the Creator. But they try to mess with us, and they're jealous of that.
Yeah.
We're fabulous.
We have to come out of that. Yeah, we definitely have to come out of their measurement of success. See, because that's the trick, and because at the end of the day, wealth doesn't have anything to do with this world's measurement of success. Right. Wealth entails more than financial gain. It entails it's about a balance. It's about a balance. It's a balance of your health. It's a balance of your mental health, your physical health, your relationships. That's what true wealth is. Our true currency is our relationships. Because if you have good relationships, you'll never go hungry. For real. And that's what it really boils down to.
That's right.
And so, but because of the trials and tribulations and the trauma that we've experienced, we have lost our connection to the source, and so therefore we can't hold on to that fact long enough to make it relative in our life. So we just keep thinking that, this is the only way. This is the only way. We have to be outside of ourselves. We have to be doing what they tell us to do. We have to be living these constructs, all this shit that make us sad, depressed, impotent, pussy dry, all that type of shit.
Don't get me started. I'll keep it cool tonight.
It just take all the oomph.
I know.
It take all the oomph out of being.
For real.
It does.
Jack us up to the core.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Like, you don't even want to dance no more. People talk about I used to. I remember when I used to. You understand what I'm saying? Right. You should never be saying that.
That's right.
You should never come out of your childlike mindset. And I mean that in the highest regard.
Of course.
I'm not talking about immaturity.
Right. No, I know what you mean.
I'm not talking about immaturity. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not speaking to you, brother. I'm speaking to people who have never wrapped their thoughts around this.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I'm speaking to those who don't understand that being youthful is something worth respecting.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, respect isn't always about, being elder and so on and so forth, but being youthful in itself is also something worth respecting. It's worth something, honoring.
That's right. Effortless.
To honor being youthful.
Right. Not the force.
But this world to make you, make you old real quick. You forget all the shit that you did, that you frowning down upon others because they doing it.
Right.
But you so old. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to, it's the balance. It's who we represent as melanin people.
That's right.
That honor, that balance, that class. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't have class without having the old and the new. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because when you look at something classic, it's something about it that represents something new.
Of course, a lineage, the connection. The new couldn't be here without the classic. That's right.
Yeah, like it's something about it that's always progressive. That's what makes it classic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so, but again, we have been led by a people who they don't have that ancient discernment.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that ability to be able to tap into that type of class, honor that type of class, to pay homage, because they're too busy feeding their ego and trying to play God. They don't have time to hold on to humanity. They're too busy competing.
That's right.
If I'm competing with you all the time, how can I see the best in you?
Right.
And honor it.
But see, when you see the best in the next person, it enhances you. When you have that competition and jealousy, it takes away from you. And actually, they didn't ask for it, but you're giving them something of you to make them more powerful. Ain't that something?
Right. Yeah. And it serves as a reminder, you know? And so when you see something brilliant and something that's timeless, it serves as a reminder. I mean, that's a blessing for something to say, to tap you on the shoulder and say, don't forget. Don't forget. Don't forget. Don't forget to live.
Right.
Don't forget to live. You alive, but you ain't living.
Mm-hmm. Don't
forget to live. Don't forget to be a child. You know, I think about, you know, and with a lot of these artists, and I'm gonna use this because I just felt like this particular brother's energy was so profound, but I question all these entertainers that's been placed in our face. But the one brother, the brother that played on The Wire, the one that had the mark on his face, passed away like 2 years ago.
Michael, what's his name? Michael Williams, Michael something. Yeah.
Michael something. Right. I can't remember his last name.
I did some videos
I know his
on
name
him.
Was Michael.
I spoke about it.
Right. One of the last videos that I used to play over and over and over and over and over again about him was, there was a video of him dancing in the park. He was dancing in Central Park, and this brother was getting it. And when he was getting it, okay, brother. And when he was dancing, it told everything about him. I seen that he was African.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally seen who he was. And I didn't know just looking at him from The Wire or any, you know what I'm saying, or anything that had anything to do with what they was putting. When I seen him dancing, I seen theater, I seen art, I seen Africa, I seen femininity, I seen masculinity, I mean, he just everything about him from his beginning to his end, I seen it in him.
But you see,
I seen him as a teenager. I seen him as a little boy.
Right. But see, you have to be powerful, and you have to have a full range of discernment to be able to see all of that, because you know those little spectacles they put over your eyes when you're getting your eye exam, and they have you look at the chart and they flip another lens. They say, how's it? Is it better? Is it worse? That old age stuff. Yeah, exactly. Right. Some people have it where they can only see the child in him, or they can only see the African in them. But see, you can see full range, and that's a reflection on you. See, so you have a multi-dimensional sense of discernment, and it can go deeper. And see, a lot of us have it, a lot of us don't. A lot of us didn't realize we had it, or developed it, or allowed it to develop. But see, this is what makes you more powerful, when you can see in a multifaceted way. When you can see a child, like you said, when he's walking home and doesn't want to go home and didn't really want to go to school. You see what I mean? Walking real slow.
I don't want to be powerful by myself, though. I don't want to be powerful by myself.
No, I'm just reflecting it. I'm just a mirror. I'm just reflecting it. No, there are many powerful people out here on different levels. And about that leader thing, it's not in the generals of the white armies and forces, military of the world. We're not talking. You're an influencer because we're all leaders and we're all followers for the right thing. And I don't mean followers in the European sense, like I follow everything you do. Right. No, we correct each other. We work together, and it's fluid. Yeah. See, sometimes you'll lead, and then it flows into whoever else needs to lead. That's what I want. So you're a leader when it's time for you to be a leader. And then you can like me, I can lead, then I can sit my ass down and know when it's time to sit down. So there are people who have so much ego, they always want to lead. I'll give props to anybody like, yo, come on the show and talk to the people and share. I get excited by what's inside of them, and it makes me better because I learn from them. And when I talk to other people who may need what they had, that guy or woman might not be around, and I can reflect it on. I don't own the truth, but I damn sure can put it on a platter and serve it out to the people.
Oh, wow, that resonates with my all up and down my spine, brother.
If you asked me to repeat it, I couldn't do it. I don't know where that came from.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I understand that in order for you to be able to be that, you actually have to be in that. You know what I'm saying? You have to come from that. And that's the thing about our people. Like, I know. I come from a great people. And I'm not talking about my bloodline alone.
Exactly.
I mean, I come from I look at our people and I look at our ability to just take nothing and make it into something. Mm-hmm. That is godly. Like, we cannot forget that we have taken nothing and made it into something to the point where the whole world wants to be like.
Let me tell you something.
And I go ahead.
No, I just every time many years ago I would fly, I would find a book in the netting that was on the back of the seat in front of me. Not every single time, but 3 or 4 good times at very crucial times in my life. And this was back in 2001 on April 5th when I was making, at that time, the last flight to come down to Orlando after I sold my house. That's why I remember the date. And there was a book entitled Do Less and Achieve More. And when I got down to the airport, there was a book sitting on a seat. Talent is not enough. But I knew, and I didn't mean this in an egotistical way, but I knew when I came to Orlando, something within me was going to start. I didn't know what it was. I felt it was going to be something special, not worldly, but that was the year that I got online officially. And
what's up with those books?
I know, right? And I knew something was going to start, but small.
And they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
For real. And now look at all the people who have met through this. I'm not taking credit for it because y'all would have probably met anyway in some form of fashion. But just to know that I could have quit. I could have, and it's not to bring it back to me. I'm saying for you who are listening, don't let people crush your thoughts. Don't let them discourage you. There was a time when I was paying back, and I'll bring it on back to I just want to say this part. Every month I was paying $100 for this website. They were ripping me off like crazy. If I wanted to do a change in it, I had to tell them, and then I had to pay $20 for a little change. Right? I'm like, there's something wrong with this because but I was stupid at that time to the fact that I could have did it a different way. And this was back in 2004. And I was in contact with a lot of people who had really big, lucrative websites. And here I am going through a lot of personal things. And I was really functionally broke. And after I divorced my first wife, long story, justified, bipolar situation, I was renting a room. And I was getting ready for, not that same year, but it was coming up that I was going to start driving for the bus, but I was still working in corrections, right? So I was sitting up at night and I was so upset that it was time to pay that $100 for the website with the artwork and the writing, and that's all it had on there. And I was like, I can't afford this right now. Just $100 a month, because things were tight for me. I was paying a lot of money out, and that's just the way it was. And I sat there and I said, you know what? I need to get rid of this. This is, and it wasn't me saying it. So I hit my finger on the button to delete the website. I hit it. And then again, it said, are you sure? If you get rid of this, all the contents of what, that you have on there will be gone forever. And the woman who, I was in her house, was renting a room for a temporary, short amount of time. I didn't see how she got behind me, but she knew how much all of that meant to me because she saw the hours that I put in. And this is a little less than 20 years ago, because I've been on from 2001. So I had my finger and I was doing it slow because it was like, you didn't want to do this. It's like putting your favorite puppy to sleep because you can't feed it. I didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? I don't know where that came from. So I had my hand up and I was looking at it and contemplating. It was like a suicide of sorts, but it wasn't like I gave up. So I started to move my hand on the mouse, move the cursor over, and out of nowhere, I swear it was quiet. I didn't see her come out of the room, and she grabbed my hand off the mouse. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? I said, I can't afford this. She says, you will be able to do so soon. She said, what does it cost? I said, it's $100 a month. I got all my stuff up there. It'd be damn near impossible with the amount of stuff that I have there, even at that time, to just transfer it off. And this ain't going nowhere. And look at us now. Wow. So we have to, we're strong people, but sometimes we need the help of others. That's why and I'll say it this way in a funny way, not to put her down. She's one of the zaniest people I know, but she rose to the occasion to be my leader. And she led me out of that rut. Just the same way in her personal life, she needed someone there for her, and I was there for her constantly. You see, so there's no shame sometimes when you feel weak and you feel like giving up. Even though it's not in you to do so, you get that storm, those clouds blocking the positivity, and you're thinking out of the mind that you usually have. And I made up my mind from that point on, I'm never going to stop doing what it is that I'm supposed to do. This was before YouTube came into existence and Facebook came into existence, all long before that. I didn't know I was going to know the tens of thousands of people that I know, sometime close and sometime distance, that has fed into my life. And hopefully I help to feed something in your life. You see what I mean? So never give up. Never, ever, ever give up. There have been times I went to work hungry. There are times I didn't get no sleep, working extra jobs. Emotional pain. Didn't know what, you jacked up when it starts thundering and lightning, you out there walking, you just still walking slow. You ain't even trying to run and get out the rain. You're like, if it hit me, it hit me. If it get wet, I don't care. Go ahead, I'm sorry. I just had to tell that.
Well, when I think about, being a quote unquote targeted individual, you know what I'm saying? And this is just a different way, because my mind always looks at things from different perspectives when I'm experiencing them, right? When I'm experiencing what's going on. And so, you hear people talk about chosen people and so on and so forth. Can you hear me, brother?
Loud and clear. When you hear dead quiet, I hit the mute. To stop. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, I just think about the whole situation that many of us have found ourselves in with being quote unquote a targeted individual. And, I always, look at things from different perspectives. And so I'm saying to myself, I know that this is a test. It's obviously a test, right? And so when you think about the chosen ones, you have people who who, they're coming forth talking about, chosen, you people think that they're chosen and they're not, right? But what I think about targeted individuals is that there is something that's very intentional about our experience that we're having right now. For me, I pray and I hope that it has something to do with ascension. It has something to do with me going beyond this current situation that I'm in. Just basically like playing a video game and you going from one level to the next.
Yep.
And so with that being said, maybe we really are chosen, because it's something about this, whatever this program is, whether it's the Matrix or whatever, that's always a constant reminder of something being off here, something being off. We're constantly being reminded that now you see people every day, your neighbors, you see people in passing every day they don't have a fucking clue.
Right.
What the fuck that we know is going on. You understand what I'm saying?
For real. Just so oblivious.
They're living their experience and told they're oblivious.
Oh my God, for real. And they think they're happy in that. On. Yeah.
Yes. And so, but then you have this select few that's going through some shit. That's how we feel. We going through some shit. You understand what I'm saying? But really, are we going through some shit, or we're constantly being reminded of something that we know we're supposed to come out of? And the only way we can come out of it is the fact that we constantly being told that we got to come out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something that can't be. They always have to show themselves, or whatever. Mm-hmm. It has to always present itself in order for us to recognize and realize we got to get the fuck up out of here.
Well, see, for you to even notice, for you to even notice how jacked up things could be in this matrix, that's ascension right there. And the fact that you can see what you see, you're gonna see more. And those who are below the level of the water, who are just below the level, and they're just accepted. Yeah. Oh, well, I feel that aches and pain. I guess that's old age. That's what happens. Oh, well, so and so. They are not growing. They're not feeling the pull. You're gonna be higher. Yeah. And you've been ascending before you realize you were ascending. Now you can say it because you're so much further higher. I'm not saying anybody's better than anybody, but you are ascended and you're chosen for this. And many here who are in the chat room are chosen, and they're brilliant in sometimes different ways. Sometimes there's a baby chosen one. You can see things that the other baby chosen one can't see. Then y'all get to talking, right? And then you can pick up quick. But there's something about the people who don't see it. And look, a lot of them don't want to see it. They get annoyed at your very presence. When they lock eyes with you, it stirs something up inside of them, and they don't want to see or feel. They just rather be near death and, okay, the company takes my taxes out, so I ain't got to do no taxes. They give me a raise, but then the medical goes up. The taxes, but it's okay because that's the system. And by the time I'm dead, I'll have my house paid for and their little 2-week vacation, and they accept that. To hell with that. Even when I was in it, I knew what I was in. I'm like Kunta Kinte. I'm setting up to get on out of here. And when I get out of here, I'm not coming back. And that's not just a move from America to Africa. When I get out of here, is whatever remnants of old thinking is on me, I'm getting it all off so I can keep on ascending, because it's those things that hold you back. Like I said, does the butterfly fly around the cocoon? No, it wants to get rid of it so it can flap the wings and go high. I'm ready to let this thing go. And you want to. Yeah. And you're annoyed at it because you can see the cocoon stuck to you. I don't need you no more, cocoon. You on me. I want to fly.
It's kind of like the situation. So like it's something that's always been pointing us in this direction of something being off. But it took something in particular for us to truly be able to wake up. So, you have people talk about, the whole 2012 situation, right? Because I can honestly say that, like, my mom passed away in 2008, okay? And it took me into a spiral because prior to that, I was making good ass money. I was doing good in the fucking DC area. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, this tragedy is and I'm talking about intentions here, like this is the intentions of what's going on with my experience and what I come to do, because me and my mom hadn't talked for almost 2 years because we had a fallout.
Wow.
Right. And my mom, I'm listening to my children talking to somebody on the phone on this particular Monday. Right. But I can tell the more and more I listen to the conversation that they were talking to my mother. Right. And so because of those promises that she used to make me as children, because it happened to be a month where all my children are born in March.
Oh, wow.
First and foremost, I'm talking about the intentions of things, but I'm sure when it comes to a lot of us who are targeted, though, it's those intentional things that are taking place in your life lets you know that it's something else greater going on here. Right.
Wow.
And so now I'm hearing this conversation and it sounds like to me that she's promising them something. But I know how she used to do me when I was little and she wouldn't follow through. Right. So I get on the phone with her and I'm talking to her and we have this very authentic conversation where she expresses to me that I don't love her, that I hate her. Okay. And I'm telling her, Mom, no. And I've never felt this way about mother. I can never sit and tell you that I felt like a victim, regardless of what I've experienced in my life. And I've gone through some shit. I've never sat and had a pity party. Now, subconsciously, the things that you experience, the trauma that you experience is going to have an effect on your behavior. But I can't sit and tell you, thankfully, because of my lack of memory, that I sat here and had a pity party about what such and such did to me and why they treated me so bad and why this and why that was going on. I never would have those type of thoughts, it's even to this day, and so as my mother is saying, telling me that I hate her, I recognize that it had to do with her projecting her own guilt onto me.
That's what it is.
You understand? And so I had to express to her that what was going on between her and I had to do with the lack of attention that was put into our relationship. It had nothing to do with me just having a problem with you, so therefore I'm just done with you. It just had everything to do with that the effort wasn't put in.
Right.
So therefore, it is what it is. And do you know that was on a Monday? Do you know that now? I hadn't talked to my mother in almost 2 years. Do you know that was Monday? On that Thursday, my mother died.
Oh man.
And I can go into the number situations, the numbers, the same numbers that keep coming up.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I understand that my intention here is far greater than myself, and it's far greater than any type of success in this world.
Yes, indeed.
What people deem to be successful and all that type of stuff. It's so beyond this existence.
Yes.
And so when people start to come out of the victimhood of what they're experiencing and understand that there is something far greater going on with you in particular, then you'll start to be able to see things differently. And I'm not saying you not go battle with, everything, all the indoctrination that, we've been exposed to. But the more and more you live, the more and more you grow, the more and more you understand, and the more and more, discernment that you have. And then you begin to let go of things more and more and more and more, and then you start to come to a realization that it's just freeing. It's just freeing. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of almost like, what's that movie? The Capardine, the fire. What was the name of that? Hunger Games.
Yeah.
You know how when they went into Hunger Games and then people would drop them tools that they needed at certain times?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that's what my experience has been and it continues to be.
But the fact that you notice that, the fact that you understand that at this point, there are people who don't and go on freaking out. You know, it's like a person who can't see, they can't cook or they can't put together how to cook. And they're sitting up in the kitchen hungry with raw ingredients around them saying, boy, I'm so hungry. I wish I had a meal. You have the meal ingredients right there. Get down in there and make it. But you see this ahead of time. Yeah.
Well, you know, we have to understand is there's really a such thing as our free will. You know, and so, you know, you just because you don't know something, you didn't know something yesterday don't mean you don't got to know it today. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's all about coming because when I first started experiencing this, you know, I'm just like, why is this happening? Like, why is these motherfuckers fucking with me? And why is all this strange shit happening? You know what I'm saying? And so like I said, so she died in 2008. And then it was like, maybe like not even 2 years later, my aunt passed away who had raised me for several years. And so it was just like I kept being brought back into this mindset. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I had put on all this weight. And I'm just like, you know, I was really, you know, I was in some victimhood. Mm-hmm. I was still moving forward because I had children. Right. I didn't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? But I was in a form of victimhood because I was eating my life away. Yeah. You know, it was a form of comfort. You know what I'm saying? And so, but then I'm in the midst of this, and then it was like, it was certain people being brought into my life, famous people that were being brought into my life. You know, like someone, you know, a relative might say, well, did you hear this person's album? You should listen to this person's album. And I would listen to that person's album, and I started, and I was feeling like I was so in tune with this person that I could have written that whole album for them. Yes. They could have started something and I could have completed it. Mm-hmm. That's how in tune. But then that led me down a rabbit hole to some realization of things. You know what I'm saying? To the awakening of this all life being a stage. You know, and so it's a particular person, I don't know if it's a male or a female, that left a comment and they talked about how they feel like they're a litmus test. Don't feel like you're alone. Right. Because it's been many things that I've experienced that now I see as the norm. You know, I see as the norm. But again, what's really going on here? You know, because I know that my desire and my objection is to ascend up out of this shit. I know, but just think how many people are going the opposite way. It's like when you work a night job and you're driving home on the highway and your side of the highway is clear because it's 6 or 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning and you see the traffic jam on the other side. Wow, well, you're fading in and out, brother. You fading in and out right now. Okay. My mic starts doing that, or it's maybe them again doing their crap. But like I said, I don't know if you can hear me now. I got a little better. Okay. Yeah. No, I was saying it's just like when you work a night job and you're coming home 6, 7, 8 in the morning and you're tired, but you feel glad, you're happy because my side of the highway is open. I'm going home to sleep, and the other folks that get ready to go to work in the traffic jam next on the other side of the highway. You see what I mean? So, you know, right. Exactly. Right. Even though you're tired, you're like, yeah, y'all going to work. I'm going home to sleep. You know what I mean? Right. Don't let it be a day off. You don't even have to sleep. You're hanging. But that's the way life is. And you will be subjected to being that person on the other side on the traffic jam. Or in the traffic jam. Right. You can decide to get off of that highway. I'm not saying don't go into work, but maybe you might take the night shift. Maybe you might move somewhere else and get something better. Maybe you might do your own thing, but it's one step after the other. But see, you're not going to ever get there if you accept being in a traffic jam and never changing your life. Some people, when they get on a job, and this is not really about a job, it's about a mindset. See, when I used to drive the bus and I'd be at the red light and I'd see all the tourists hanging out, I'm like, this is their vacation, but this is my job. There's something wrong here.
I need more of that, of what they have. Maybe they had more money. I don't know. But to me, it wasn't a money thing, because I said, you know what? Here I am in Orlando, Florida, seeing all these people enjoy themselves. But there are people in Singapore.
You're really sounding. It's definitely some type of disturbance going on when you speak.
Yeah. I kind of figured that, and it happened to me earlier when I was speaking to the phenomenal brother I was talking to you about on the phone. I don't know whether it's not me. It's not me, because I'm hearing the sound already.
No, I think it has to do with, like, the fact that I brought up that subject about my encounter.
Right.
When we're talking about life being a stage, and so there's actors. And so now there's only a select few of us who are really experiencing this thing in a world of over 8 billion people, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and with that being said, it's something going on with them possibly trying to stand in the way of our ascension. But being that it's a test. It's kind of like when you play a video game, and every time you come up to a certain area, it's the same shit going on.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So, like, remember Mario Brothers?
Oh, I love
Whenever
it.
you came to that same spot, it was the same shit taking place.
Doop 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 doop. Boing. I love it.
Wow, you sound like, baby, like, you sound possessed right now, brother.
Oh, the sound is off. I'm possessed, all right, but not with no demon.
They got you sounding possessed, okay?
Yo, but you know what? We can hear you clear, so I'm gonna let you do most of the talking, because if they can't hear me really good, because I'm hearing it in my headphones. There's definitely something. It happened on my phone earlier, the same thing, and it's happening now on this, and it usually doesn't.
It all just really boils down to those of us who are experiencing this. We really have to come out of that whole emotional aspect and really start to think about, just start to reflect beyond yourself, your bloodline, all these type of things. And you'll really make the connection that there's something in particular that's intentional with you. It's an intentional thing. There's no way that I'm by myself here. There's no way. I always want to be wise. I always want to just have discernment, right? But I also recognize the universal laws, and I understand things, right? And so, with that being said, we have a such thing as reincarnation, and we've heard that they found means of interfering in that, so on and so forth. So, but my objection is to bypass that,
right?
And so I have to go towards it, because when you scramble, when I've scrambled my name, how you can make different words out of a particular word or name or something,
right? And
Cleopatra is in my first and last name. And then when the last letters that are left are actually a word in order. I'm not even gonna tell you what it is. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So, right. You know what I'm saying? And so I recognize the intentions behind what's going on with
Yes.
and all the effort and so on. But I'm not the only one.
Of course you're not.
We in that time.
That's right.
We in that time where all of us who are experiencing this, we're at a crossroad, if you will.
Yes.
Of knowing it or not knowing.
Let me just say, Sister Linda Petty said they're hearing us both loud and clear. So whatever the interference is to stop us from really hearing each other. But if you can hear me a little bit, they're hearing us loud and clear, which means the end result on the replay will be loud and clear. So if you can hear me, if I sound a little crazy or off, they don't hear it. You see what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you really can't hear me, I'll just shut up. But I'll jump in as necessary. But we're loud and clear, both of us, at least to them.
Well, thank you, sister. Thank you, because I wish I could see some of the comments. That would be nice if I could see the comments, but for whatever reason, they don't. Like I told you before, they don't really care for me interacting with people, and it has a lot to do with my influence. Because something has been taken away from the people, and certain people hold a certain knowledge that can snatch it back. Can you hear me, brother?
Loud and clear. I just had the mute on when you're talking, so there's no feedback from this side. No, I can hear you.
Yeah, so so I understand that, and within their system, I've constantly from day one, been met with rejection from day one. But I understand that this is a tactic that they use just in general with the common man and woman, to put them in a position that they will accept anything. So once they're done with the mental mind fuck of rejecting you constantly, that once they offer you something, then you'll go for it. And so that's never resonated with me. I've never been an ass kisser. It's not something that I had to grow into understanding. I've never been an ass kisser. If you rejected me, oh, your fault. That's how I always felt. Your fault. I've never felt
lost.
Like,
exactly.
Why? Yeah. Why can't you just, why? That's never been an issue for me. Like, I've always recognized that, okay, well, your fault, motherfucker, your loss. Because because I've always been able to look at the big picture, and my thing is, I just hope that other people would comprehend that within their own journey and what they're going through, to be able to come out of the position that they want you in, where you don't really understand your power. You don't know your power. Like, we literally have power. And we're more powerful once we recognize that individually, in a collective sense, is what I'm saying.
Right.
I know that I move about this place by myself, but wherever I go, especially if I'm really in the zone, if I'm in the zone, it's over. You understand? They start sending, woo, 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 you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's right.
They attempt to usurp. They're parasitic entities. They have the spirit. They have to latch on to something great in order for them to be electrified. Yes. And so we have to understand our greatness. I'm not talking about people who run around here acting like they're better than other people.
Right.
I'm not talking about other people who run around here talking about, it's a status thing. You got to have this and that to be somebody. Because please. See me?
Right.
I don't care what you got or what you don't got. Once you come up against me, it's a problem. I'm not on you. It's over. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have no desire to be your motherfucking friend or your foe. I don't give a fuck if I ever see you.
For real.
You understand what I'm saying? It's so once you come up against me, I already know it's something off about you. In other words, is what I'm saying.
Yes. You know, it gets me.
I'm not looking to fight you.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to compare myself to you. I'm not trying to outdo you.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to step on you.
Tell it.
And so, but once I see that in coming from another person, it's over.
There you go. Once they play their hand, I've gone through that here in Ghana. People show their ass and then think they can come back like you stupid and you're gonna roll with them. No, you don't exist. I don't hate you. I'm not getting into anything. I'm not getting into any false connection so you can build up and screw me over again. You played your hand. You already know who you are. I know who you are. We ain't going to go through this waltz of deception. Understand? You played your hand. You can't suck my energy no more. I'm not that stupid. And people think this shit extreme. No, that's the way it has to go.
But I get the whole concept of like, you know, sometimes you run into people, right? And they're so used to that type of energy that's what the shield they use, but they not really like that. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like if that's the case, then it's gonna show eventually, like real soon. Like you're gonna recognize that I'm making eye contact with you, so you know, okay, we're staying on that bullshit. Then I might as well go ahead and be myself. You understand what I'm saying? Like I get that.
You got me cough laughing over here.
Like I get that. I get that whole concept. You understand what I'm saying? But if you continually be on it and all that type of shit and all that, no, we can't do nothing. We can't. You and I, it will never be.
That's
you
right.
know, so that shit just don't work on me. But for a lot of people, that's the game. The game is to destroy you mentally, so you will accept anything.
Right. They ain't gonna do that.
You'll accept the status that they want to give you. And as a black people, we already know what position that is, especially black people in the United States. You know what I'm saying? We everybody frown down upon us. We ain't shit nowhere, but everybody still want to be us in the same breath. I experienced that look, brother, I'm the black sheep of the black sheep. You understand what I'm saying? But when it's all said and done, and I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it's the truth.
The fact that I hold on to how the authenticness and the source, it already sets me aside, but people want to be so dismissive towards me.
That's right.
Like I ain't shit. Like I don't bring nothing to the table when I bring enough to the table for a million motherfuckers.
Yeah, you pull the lid of a million people.
But then on top of that, see, as black people, we should be able to understand that and I'm talking about us right here in the United States, right? Because this is an experiment in itself. You know what I'm saying? And so us in the United States, we should be able to recognize that and not allow that to be a thing amongst each other. But instead we go along with the whole, we let it be done to us, and then we turn around and do it to other motherfuckers. You understand what I'm saying? And I experienced that within my own family.
Yep.
Like I said, I'm the black sheep of the black sheep. But at the end of the day, they can't understand why we can be in an environment around white people and white people bowing down to me.
Yeah.
They don't understand. They don't comprehend that. I mean, they do, but they don't want
It's beyond their comprehension because it doesn't work. The rules that they run by, it's like, how can you do this? This doesn't work. That's like me throwing something out the window and it go up. That gravity works opposite for me. You know what I mean?
I'm here to crush all your falsehoods. That's all I can really say. You know what I'm saying? But we have to come out of all the mind games that they have played on us for us to be a certain way.
Yep.
For us to play out a certain narrative. Like, why are we allowing someone to depict how we're supposed to exist?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we going along with this bullshit so easily? Because I don't give a fuck what another nigga accomplishes. At the end of the day, he's still gonna be looked at as a nigga. I don't care what he has, what form of success that he has based on this world.
That's right.
It can be a woman. It don't matter, because at the end of the day, they still see you as the nigga.
Yeah.